Making It with Marcus and Marianna is brought to you by Voidwalker Creative, a production company that finds the art within the absence. Check out Voidwalker Creative on Instagram and YouTube to view some of our content, like our Voidwalker artist showcases, as well as our new interview series coming up soon, Voidwalker Visuals. Huge thank you to our team at Voidwalker Creative for making this podcast possible.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Making It with Marcus and Marianna. I'm Marcus.
And I'm Marianna. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today we would like to cover the topic of our roots, where we started and how we got to where we are together and alone. So,
Yeah, now that you guys kind of know a bit about us, we want to just talk a little bit more about how we actually started off on this journey and, you know, got our first start in the industry. Speaking for myself, I dropped out of college,
I dropped out of college.
but pretty shortly afterwards, I realized that work was just something I needed to start doing. I didn't really want to sit in a classroom any longer, so I got lucky and got an internship editing, doing music videos for a music management company. I met somebody that had a connection where I was able to get an internship at a daytime TV show, and I took it right away. There was no hesitation for me. I knew that was something that I wanted to get into, and through that experience, I just learned so much, and it kind of shaped me into who I am today, and it made my dreams so much bigger than what I ever thought they were going to be.
Yeah, no, I definitely started kind of the same but different. I was already in school for a few years taking media classes. So it was my senior year in high school after moving here. I did not know what I wanted to do at all. And then I took this class and I was like, this is something I could do for the rest of my life. I loved watching TV. I would literally have a schedule on my phone of all the shows I watched and like thinking, how can I change these shows to be better? And taking that class really changed my perspective. So going into school, I honestly didn't have the best of grades after moving. So I was like, community college is the route. And I went to Santa Monica College and I took some media classes. And then we were friends at that time. So Marcus's family member was able to help me get a job. Thanks, Mama Katie. So she helped me out and I, applied for a few different positions. I interviewed and I got the job. So I kind of took on a full time job instead of finishing school. I kind of went back in ways to try to finish, and then there was a math class that got in the way. So we're just working in production. And I started as a talent coordinator on a show, and I worked my way up to be an associate producer and work on independent projects as a producer. This year, I'll be learning how to direct more. So there's big things to come, definitely, in the career and the future of it. So it's definitely exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. We both had a very long journey in production. I started off as an intern, like I said, and worked my way up to being a runner and then getting into the production management department. And, I've become a production coordinator now. I've been for the past four years on different TV shows and projects. And, I've learned a lot and I just really, really enjoy it. And it's a certain type of mindset that you gain throughout working in this industry. And I've learned a lot of you just got to be willing to you just have to be willing to learn and to fail. And I've done so much of that. I've failed plenty of times. I can't even imagine how many, but I've worked my way through it and become somebody that I think that or I've become the person that I think that is able to take my dreams and make them a reality.
Yeah, taking from that, I think with the mindset that we have and the LA lifestyle, you definitely have to be strong minded in this industry because it's a very competitive industry. When I first started out, I was just doing the same thing and I didn't know what I wanted to do really and how to go into the next direction. But it was, learning what the next person beside me was doing in their position and taking notes. That might not have been my role, but I was like, oh, this is what an AP, an associate producer is doing. So I should kind of like take notes and that's what they're doing, or that's what, production assistants doing. Cause I was a talent coordinator. I worked with guests on a show. So knowing that there was all these options around me and not knowing which way to go, it was, being friends with those people and letting them know that, hey, I'm interested in growing in this industry. How do I get to where you are? And there are some of those people that are really willing to help you in those ways. And when you do meet them, it's really great. And just to kind of take what they have to say, some of those people have become my mentors and still I'm able to reach out to them to this day and say like, hey, I'm working on a project, or hey, I don't have a job. So it is that being open with them and learning from them and being able to take notes and not being scared at the end of the day, and whatever industry you're in, not just production.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the connections that I've made, I've noticed have become some of the most important assets in my life, especially professionally, but even personally. I've made a lot of good friends through the business, but professionally, as a production coordinator, I'm hiring crews all over the country for shoots on any given day, and
Sometimes you're flying out of town.
yeah, sometimes I'm flying out of town and I have to go meet them and start off a brand new relationship right away on the ground, and we make it work. And those some of those things are they become really and really important to have those types of people in your life, because you never know when you're going to need it. Um,
Especially when you left me for a month and went to New York and worked
yeah,
for a very long,
exactly.
very
Yes.
long time.
Left her for 30 days to go work on a TV show in New York, and that was the first time I've ever had to do that long of a remote, work trip like that. And it was just a new territory for us in all, and it was great. It ended up working out great. It was something I definitely learned a lot about myself from, and I think that experience right there is going to help me move forward in my career a lot. Some of those people I still stay in touch with that I worked with, and now when I go back to New York, I know that I have assets that I could use as allies on a project that either I'm just working on or me and you are creating together. Um, I think that's a very powerful thing to have, is connections in the industry, people that you can trust.
Yeah. When I started as a talent coordinator, it was just that. It was knowing that you have those people around you. But the second I was trying to grow at certain spots, like I took on many roles. I was the talent coordinator, I was a runner coordinator, and then at that same show I wanted to grow more, and I did have the opportunity to do so, and I became an associate producer at the same time of working all of these roles and growing. And it did come to the point where, unfortunately, I wasn't able to take on the associate producer position full time with that company. And I felt as if, I wasn't growing here. So, how do I continue to grow in this industry if it's not at this company where I've been for years and I love? So, how do I get to that next step? And I think that's really important, is knowing that you have other people on in other places. Like, you've been very lucky to go off into New York and wherever you go, because Marcus goes a lot of places for work sometimes. So making those connections are really important. And I think when you are at work, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So the people see that and they want to work with you again. So I was fortunate enough, when I wasn't ready to grow with this company, that someone I was working with saw that in me and was like, hey, I'm working on another show. Come over here. And I was like, oh, this is my time to spread my wings and fly and like take myself out of this comfort zone of a show. I really did love the people I was working with so much, and do that. And we've had that situation happen with us quite a few times where like jobs come and go, and in this industry people know that. So you really got to keep those connections close by, and keep them as your reference, and make sure that you work really hard so they want to be yours.
Yeah, to add on to that, what a lot of our viewers may not know is that we worked together on a TV show, and I was there for actually a few years longer than she was, but you
1 year.
one and
Well, you were 1 year before me,
but then I
and
left
then
and came back.
and then 1 year after me.
Yes, that's right.
But he still did
But
work there longer than me.
all in all, all in all, you figured out that it was your time to leave. You understood your value. You understood your value at a different time than I understood mine. I stayed an extra year longer, and unfortunately, the show ended before I could even make that choice for myself. But there's positives and negatives. It's negatives to it all, but it just works out differently for everybody. And the way it worked out for me is that it kind of pushed me to, oh my God, I didn't know that I wasn't gonna have a job tomorrow, so I got to figure something out. And truly, since then, I've landed the best job that I've. It's something that's kind of been full circle for me. That I'm grown up as a huge, huge sports fan, and to already work in the television industry, but now being a production coordinator for NFL media, it's absolutely incredible. I couldn't ask for anything different.
Yeah, it's the growing and seeing yourself in that growth. And we had many hiccups along the way. I mean, we were in a strike.
Yeah.
And a lot of people know it was all over the news, but as a couple and young adults in this industry living in LA, we got hit. We got hit by the strike. I was out of a job. I was working, and then I got let go. I was doing casting, and I got let go because of the strike. And this was after we got on a vacation, and we had just moved in together. So a month after moving in together, we had these jobs that were nice and wonderful, and we were working. And then all of a sudden, we lost our jobs, and then it was the hustle. Like that,
Yeah.
I've always been a hustler. You know, I have 5 jobs. Anyone who knows me knows I have 5 jobs between nannying, organizing, making something or another, and whatever. So, but it was the point of we had to hustle together in that, and being able to know that rent is coming and we have to pay that. There's no one else
Yep.
but
No
us.
choice.
After losing our jobs, it was the hustle that really got us going, and knowing that like we had each other through that. Like I would have an organizing job, and someone was like, "Hey, I need a heavy lifter." I was like, "Oh, here's my very heavy lifter of a 6'2" man that can do it." So we would go to jobs together. I was throwing an event, Marcus would come with me, and just knowing that if there was something that needed to be done, we did it together. We got it done. And then the beauty of it all was a very beautiful blessing happened all in the same day.
Yeah, it was nuts. We were both searching for jobs as well as, just trying to make it happen, just making money however we could, taking whatever job we could. I had an interview set up with the NFL, and honestly, afterwards, I didn't feel too great about it. I actually went to Mariana and told her, I don't think this is it. I don't think I got the job. Um,
And I said, "You definitely got the job. Expect that you got the job."
yeah, you got to manifest it. She always tells me. You always got to manifest it. She always tells me. Just as I was telling her about it, she's on the phone and she's getting a phone call.
So I did. I got a phone call, and I'd actually gotten a job offer from someone I had worked with on another show, and this was just like out of the blue. He's like, "Hi, I'm so and so, the executive producer of so and so show, and I have a job opening." And I was like, "Oh, yep, I will be there. I'll take it." He's like, "Come down, meet our supervisors tomorrow," and I was like, I will be there." And it was just I didn't want to like make Marcus feeling a certain type of way, and just knowing that like, oh, I just got this job. He's waiting to hear back, and he doesn't feel good about it. But then I told him, and when we're on the phone, he's like, "Wait, I gotta answer this." So then he doesn't call me back for like probably like 15, 20 minutes, and then I get a call back, and he's like,
They offered me the job, and they actually gave me the pick of 2 different jobs, 2 different positions. And, it was a dream come true. It was a crazy scenario where we both, the day before, were worried about,
"How are we gonna pay rent?"
yeah, how are we going to keep making money, just picking up side jobs and stuff. And, like,
How long is the strike gonna last?
yeah,
Like,
how long is the
we
strike
really
going to
didn't know.
we had no clue of, no certainty of anything. And, we hadn't been in this position where we're now just living with each other. So, um, but of course, all on the same day, we get a phone call to get like we get a phone call back to back, and we now have new jobs.
And we are still working at those jobs. And I mean, I love what I do.
Yeah.
And the strike is over. So it's kind of like a lot of productions back up and going. So we've kind of been full throttle in different areas also, where it's like we've been able to help on other productions. We
Yep.
helped another friend with a convention that she had. We did a live stream. So it's like we're able to go out and connect again fully. It was kind of like a COVID for people in the production industry. Like you either got to like hang out
Yeah.
outside of work, but you couldn't go to work. Uh, so
Seriously. Now, and everybody, I mean, everybody that we were friends with was like, everybody was just trying to make money. So it was like, if you were hanging out, you were doing something cheap and for free.
yeah,
Otherwise, people were working and trying to just take whatever job they could.
yeah, definitely. And with all of that, it's still a matter of us finding that work-life balance.
Hmm.
And we're still we're still getting there. Every day it's a work in progress, and just knowing that these jobs that we've been having constantly now, thankfully we've been very blessed to say the jobs haven't stopped, no matter if it's production, if it's a side job, or even
Sure.
just a free job, because sometimes you do have to lend a helping hand to a friend, and we do that. So it's just a matter of finding the balance, going out and having fun, and knowing that like we have our family around us as well to really help and support us, and we do.
Yeah, and for me specifically, my family, I have my immediate family here that lives near us, and we both do have family on the East Coast, so we have tons of family on the East Coast. Most of her family lives out there, but I know you got some brothers that a couple of brothers that are
Yeah.
sometimes around.
My one of my brothers lives out here, and then I have four brothers, and then the other three are on the East Coast, and yeah, my family's in Pennsylvania, and then Marcus has.
I have my family scattered all across Massachusetts, and I guess Martha's Vineyard is technically Massachusetts also.
With these jobs that we have, it's definitely really hard to keep up with the work life balance, but we're getting there, especially with your traveling. You go out of town.
Yeah, no, my traveling has been tough. Sometimes I'll be out of town for 2 or 3 days. It could be a week. I know I have a trip coming up in a couple of weeks where I'm going to be gone for 6 days. It's tough. You just kind of have to. We just kind of manage it, and we do the best. I think we do the best we can. We always make time for each other. We even though we have long hours and crazy schedules, we make time for each other, and we have our family to help us out. My family's around.
With the jobs that we have, we continue to work on this constant work life balance. And I know that for us, it's a matter of having time for friends, family with these crazy schedules. So we just got to continue that. And I know that the communication's where it's at. And as long as we're open, it'll continue.
Yeah, especially traveling to and from places for work. It makes it not easy. We both have nut schedules, and we have pets. My dog specifically, Kona. I have to make sure I can take care of her, even though I'm only home at after 6 o'clock most days. And then who knows if I'm picking up another job on my off time. So it's a balance, and I thank God I have my family, my mother specifically. She does so much to help us like manage our time and help me manage my time and make sure Kona's taken care of, whether it's to just taking her to daycare for me or picking her up from daycare, dropping her off at my house, whatever it may be. I'm so thankful for that help, and it helps us manage our time a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely having an immediate close family where they're like, I've kind of built my family in LA. My family isn't here. Marcus has a good amount of his close family here, but it is about having the support system and having family. So when we can call on his mom for help, or she knows that we're able to help her in any way, it's just knowing that Kona's taken care of, we're taken care of, and we can continue to make things happen for ourselves while we have the support around us, even if they're far. Like, it's really difficult sometimes to keep that balance of going to see my family on the East Coast. I do get lucky enough that my dad comes out here truck driving, so I'm able to see him and spend the time that I get with him, which is very rare, especially as an adult, like getting those really odd pockets of time with your parents. Because if you really think about it, like, we don't get to spend as much time with our family as we get older, like grandparents, aunts, uncles, or how do you keep that relationship, especially when you're working? And some people just kind of don't even care anymore. And I think that's really what it's about, is not forgetting where you're from and how that's gotten you where you are. So that's something that's really important to the both of us.
Yeah, as we grow, we kind of just subconsciously realize that we just slowly spend a little bit less and less time with our family members and some of the people that we used to spend all of our time with. As you mentioned before, I have a lot of my immediate family out here, but we also both have a lot of family back east. So it's definitely a struggle to try to make a trip all the way out there to go see them as much as we want to. It's just,
It's expensive.
yeah, it's expensive, and sometimes with our schedule, it's just not possible to happen. We have to plan months in advance sometimes, and that's just to go see our family, not even to just do like a fun trip for
Yeah,
ourselves
a
or something like
vacation.
that. Yeah, no vacations really. It's pretty much once in a blue moon that we get to do that.
But we're gonna start. We are starting. That is what this next year will entail for us, is adventure and traveling and seeing things that we haven't seen before. And we would love for you guys as our viewers to also come along that journey with us. And what we learn, we hope that you guys learn as well. So just, stay tuned. I feel like I personally have been making things happen for myself in so many ways, and I know that you have as well. So I want our viewers to be able to do that. Take notes, grab a pen and paper when our guests come on. I hope you guys learn something from them. So
Yeah, 'cause we'll be learning as well. There's going to be a lot of people and topics that we discuss that we don't have the craziest amount of knowledge about. So we hope to learn and just go through this journey with you guys just as much as you are with us.
if there's ever a time to do it, it is now.
Hey there, marvelous movers and shakers, tuning in to Making It with Marcus and Marianna. Are you ready to be a badass in a career that brings you pleasure? I'm Madison, dear friends of your new favorite podcast hosts and friendly neighborhood pleasure positive podcast host. And holy F, I've got something mind-blowing for you. Brace yourselves because your career is about to get a pleasure-filled upgrade. If you're ready to level up your career game and reconnect with your inner badass, you're in for a treat. Picture this, a 21-day self-worth reset course designed to unleash your inherent power, brought to you by the Pleasure Positive Podcast. We've curated the best exercises and pleasure practices for self-worth from over 300 episodes of our top-rated sexuality podcast. And trust me, this is a game changer. Every day, you'll have access to guided audio prompts, journal prompts, custom meditations, basically all the secret sauce that has turned our Pleasure Positive Podcast into a must-listen phenomenon. But wait, there's more. Dive into our private Facebook group. It's like the Hogwarts of self-love, full of support and connection to empower you through the 21 days. Now here's the kicker. This transformative journey is normally valued at $37, but it's on the house for you extraordinary listeners of Making It with Mar. Yeah, you heard it right, free. So if you're ready to treat yourself like the VIP you are, reclaim your essence and kickstart an extraordinary career, sprint over to pleasurepositiveliving.com/makingitwithmar to snatch up your free gift. Your self-worth is like a rare gem. Precious, undeniable, and definitely worth flaunting. Don't wait. Take the first steps towards the career of your dreams. Visit pleasurepositiveliving.com/makingitwithmar now and let the magic begin. Disclaimer, this offer is as wild as a unicorn ride with limited time and quirky conditions. Check the website for all the delightful details. Once again, that's pleasurepositiveliving.com/makingitwithmar. pleasurepositiveliving.com/makingitwithmar.
Truly, everything that we've talked about today, I feel like we have actually made it happen for ourselves in so many ways that I personally, little old me, didn't think could be possible. So we are here and we did it together. And I would just like to thank everyone who's supported us this far.
And we want to thank you guys. You guys are going to make this happen for us, and we're just so excited to sit down on our next episode.
So please follow us on social media and stay tuned for the next upcoming episodes.
And please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And thank you for tuning in to Making It with Marcus and Marianna. I'm Marianna.
And I'm Marcus. We'll see you next time.